Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about the most important topics that have to be discussed in a relationship, especially if you're in an American-Filipino relationship. We all know that the Philippines and the United States have a lot of cultural differences, but these topics are not commonly discussed, and so I decided to make a video of it because before we want to bring the relationship into the next level, which is getting married, we want to make things transparent and so we can keep a good relationship. I know in the Philippines, pre-marriage counseling, family planning, and responsible parenthood seminar are required to couples who want to get married. So they have to accomplish those things before they can actually get married. However, in my case, since I have to get here in the United States with a K1 visa or fiance visa, which means the wedding has to take place here, Kenny and I really didn't get the chance to attend any sort of seminar like that. But thankfully, Uncle Glenn, who officiated our wedding, advised us to read a couple of books that will help us learn more about each other. And I think it's very helpful. That's why I want to share it with you guys. The books are actually about the 5 love languages and love and respect. These books were ordered by Kenny when he was here in the United States, and he brought them with him when he visited me to the Philippines for the second time. And so we both read the book together. Actually, before I met Kenny, I have already heard about the 5 love languages, and that's why I know my primary love language. But the thing is, it is not just about me. When we get married, it's about us, the two of us. That's why it is very important that you know your partner's love language. Number 1, words of affirmation. There are many ways to express your love and your feelings towards your fiancé or your partner. Let's say verbal compliments or words of appreciation or encouraging words. Things like, "Oh honey, you look beautiful in that dress," or "You are an amazing man." Things that we tell them because we want them to know that we sincerely appreciate them, and not just because we want them to do something for us. It's not like bola, as we call it in the Philippines, to where you say, "Oh honey, you look beautiful. Can you make me a cup of coffee?" Not like that. However, there are people who find it difficult to express their appreciation through words. And the book says that there is this thing called indirect words of appreciation. So it means that you say positive things about your husband or your wife when they are not around. So let's say, for example, you are at work and you tell your coworker how amazing your wife is or how proud of you of your husband. These words will eventually reach your husband or your wife. Someone will absolutely tell them about these words. And even if you didn't hear it directly from your partner, it is still good to know that they are talking about you and they think about you and that they appreciate the things that you are doing for them. So if your fiancé's love language is words of affirmation, you got to know that words are very, very important, and compliments are like vitamins for them that they need on a daily basis. Love language number 2, quality time. Quality time is actually my primary love language, but Kenny and I define quality time in 2 different ways. For him, as long as I'm around and I'm near, that's quality time. But for me, it has to be undivided attention. So which means if we're sitting on a couch and watching movie, that's not really quality time. You know, there were times when we actually argued about spending quality time with each other. It's because, like I said, for him, as long as I'm in the same room, let's say sitting right next to him while he's playing his favorite computer game, that's quality time. But for me, I want undivided attention. I want you to focus to me. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really have to be fancy. Like most of the time when he goes to 7-Eleven, I want to go with him, not because I want to go to 7-Eleven. I just want to spend time with him. That's why these are the things that we are trying to work on to make our relationship stronger. This book actually defines quality time by not just spending time together looking at each other's eyes, but quality time is doing something together. Let's say going out for a walk, or like us, we sometimes paint minis for our D&D, or just what I mentioned, I want to go out with him when he goes to 7-Eleven. For me, that's quality time, and I really appreciate that Kenny is putting extra effort to find ways to spend quality time with me. And because of that, I feel loved. Love language number 3, receiving gifts. There are people who feel more loved when they receive gifts, but most people might think that those people who have receiving gifts as their love language or primary love language are just being materialistic. But no, it doesn't really have to be expensive gift. According to the book, a gift is something that you hold in your hand and say, look, he's thinking of me, or she remembered me. Gifts are actually symbols of love according to this book, and visual symbols of love are more important to some people than others, but it doesn't really have to cost anything. Sometimes when a person brings you flower from, let's say, the garden and says, honey, you are as beautiful as this flower, that is considered as a gift and doesn't have to be expensive. Aside from buying or making something as a gift for your fiance or your partner, there's another kind of gift that is mentioned in this book. It is called the gift of self or gift of presence, to where you just being there for your fiance or your partner when he or she needs you is more important and means everything for them. And if the physical presence of your fiancé or your partner is important to you, you have to let them know, because most of the time they cannot read your mind. Make a request like, honey, I want you to be there. I want you to be with me tonight or tomorrow or this afternoon, so that your partner or your fiancé knows that with him or her being there for you is important thing for you. Love language number 4, acts of service. Kenny's primary love language is acts of service, and I know that he feels love when I cook breakfast or dinner for him, or even just preparing clothes for him while he's taking a bath, or even just bringing him something to drink while he's playing. Putting time, effort, and energy into those things make them expressions of love. That's why it's very important that you are doing those things willingly and not because you are forced to do it. Let's say, for example, oh, I know that my husband will feel love if I give him massage, so even though I don't like doing it, I will do it because he wants it. It is not like that. It should be willingly done, because according to this book, love is always freely given. Love language number 5, physical touch. Physical touch is actually my second love language, and I'm glad that Kenny can understand me in this aspect. Although this is not his second primary love language, he understands me because most of the Americans are very affectionate. They are okay with holding hands. Unlike other people, they are not very comfortable holding hands in public or hugging and kissing and things like that. Even when he runs his hand through my hair, I feel loved about it. And it's just something that I really appreciate about my husband. You also have to consider what type of touch your fiancé or your partner prefer, because there are some touches that can be uncomfortable and irritating for your partner or your fiancé but are okay to you. So if you continue or you insist to continue doing those touches, you are actually not expressing love, but you are communicating opposite of love, because they will think that you are not sensitive enough to feel that they are uncomfortable or those touches are not pleasant for them. So after reading this book, you will find out what your primary love language as well as your partner's primary language or love language. At the end, you'll see the 5 love languages profile for couples for him. So there are questions for him or your husband or your male fiancé, and there are questions for her or the female fiancé as well, for you to find out your primary love language. And of course, that's a good thing, because at the end, you will be able to understand each other's languages, so the communication will be better. Now, what did we learn from the other book, which is the Love and Respect? As you can see, on top, you'll see the love she most desires, and over here, the respect he desperately needs. In this book, one of the most important things that we learned is the crazy cycle. Crazy cycle is when she did not get the love that she wants, she will react. And when she reacts, the guy will feel disrespected, and then he will react, and the cycle continues. So from this book, we learned how to deal with that crazy cycle. We all know that love is a very important factor in a relationship to keep it going. And according to this book, love alone is not enough. Of course, for women, love is very vital. We always need to feel love. But what about our husbands? What do they need? So in this book, you will learn how to get the love that you want, and at the same time, give the respect that your husband needs. That is to sum up the very first topic that you need to discuss with your partner or your fiancé. Please do not feel pressured that after reading the books or watching this video, you understand and absorb everything. It doesn't work that way, you know? It takes time to understand and not overnight to understand these things. And the good thing with that is you have your partner or your fiancé to help you to work on these things, so you can build a strong and harmonious relationship. So that's it for our very first most important thing you have to discuss with your partner or your fiancé. And I'm pretty sure there will be part 2 and part 3 of this video. I hope that you learn and enjoy watching. Please hit like and subscribe. I'll hope to see you next time. Have a good one.